Perhaps more than any other legacy automaker, Volvo has been the most intentional about their transition to an all-electric lineup, with the year 2030 set as the goal line. Now, currently, plug-in hybrids dominate their offerings, but they do have a couple of pure EVs available right now. The new XC40 Recharge and the C40 Recharge, both of which can only be purchased online. Volvo's sales approach to their electric models is to have the shopper configure and order the vehicle on their retail website, reducing the customer's exposure to the dealership. Very smart. About 2 weeks later, and you'll get your car. And when it comes to the C40, that process is very easy because there are ostensibly no options other than color. And isn't this upcharged Fjord Blue paint magnificent? This mono-trim C40 Recharge comes in the new Ultimate specification with all of the features, such as a fixed panoramic moonroof, headlights with new pixel LEDs which automatically adjust by shining only those required for the specific light conditions, the steering-assisted adaptive cruise control system Volvo calls Pilot Assist, an innovative Harman Kardon sound system that has its woofer installed behind the dash to free up interior space, a surround view camera, and 20-inch wheels. MSRP is $60,540, and this model does qualify for a $7,500 tax credit. Volvo also offers a subscription model called Care by Volvo that's similar to a lease without the long-term commitment and also includes insurance, but it's for models already in stock, of which there are very few these days. So as not to bury the lead, the C40 possesses a 226-mile driving range with a battery that can fast charge from 10% to 80% in about 40 minutes at 150 kilowatts, the most common type of public fast charger. Now, as I've explained in my previous EV reviews, all of these range and charging metrics are subject to climate variability, station throughput, etc. But spring is a perfect time to maximize the drive and get juice into the battery as quickly as possible. When you either purchase or subscribe to the C40, it comes with some free charging at first and then a discounted rate thereafter. But Volvo's partnership is with ChargePoint, and at least here in my area, they only provide level 2 chargers, and those are free anyway. So today I'm over here at the Electrify America station getting this car up to about 80%, and it'll cost about $15. Not an insignificant charge, but of course, a lot better than paying for gas. Now, why not take it all the way to 100%, you ask? Well, let's talk about that. After the lithium-ion battery is charged to 80%, the vehicle's onboard battery management system slows its roll, bringing the electricity to a trickle in order to avoid overcharging and damaging the battery. So it's not recommended to fast charge beyond 80% capacity unless you're, say, taking a long trip and need every mile you can get. A level 2 charger, whether installed in your garage or out in public, adds about 25 miles of range per hour. Or, if you decide you don't need one, you can simply plug into an ordinary household outlet to add about 5 miles of range per hour. Just remember, cold temperatures have detrimental effects on lithium-ion batteries, meaning longer charge times and a driving range that can drop by 40%. But the C40 can be updated over the air, and Volvo says they expect to extend this car's range at some point, doing just that. The C40 uses twin electric motors front and rear to provide permanent all-wheel drive and very quick acceleration. 402 horsepower and 487 pound-feet of torque are delivered with the urgency that gas-powered cars just can't match. Now, if you've never driven an EV, this will be your initial takeaway. They're quick. And this one will do 0 to 60 in only 4.7 seconds, prompting a bit of torque steer as you take off. Volvo has selected some pretty meaty and very expensive tires for the C40, 20-inch Pirelli Scorpion Zero all-season sport truck tires. So the grip is strong, but the C40 doesn't drive like a sport model. The standout feature of the C40's drive is undoubtedly its crazy neck-snapping acceleration. I mean, this is incredibly quick on its feet, yet it's not sporty. As a matter of fact, this body is free to move about quite a bit here, so this is what I would describe as comfort-tuned. and frankly, it lacks a little sophistication over the harsh impacts. As far as one-pedal drive goes, it is available to you if you like to drive the vehicle with just your right foot. You can activate it over here on the screen. If you leave it off, it does expose the C40's lackluster brake pedal feel, however. And for $60,000, I wouldn't mind to see a head-up display up here. Even my Kona EV has one of those. But with this level of immediacy, I often forget about a lot of the C40's shortcomings. The C40's coupe-like roofline is deceiving as there's actually more room in here than you would expect, particularly rear seat headroom, which is excellent. And the cargo area is cut wide and boxy, with seats that fold flat for larger than expected carrying space, about the same as a Honda HR-V. And then, of course, you've got a little more cargo room up front where the engine would normally be. Volvo also sells load bars for the roof. Volvo's minimalist cabin design has been stretched to the limits here, but this matching Fjord Blue Microtech synthetic material, combined with the charcoal seats, is an attractive look, though the door inserts do feel a little cheap. And it's leather-free, as all new fully electric Volvos will be going forward. The C40 is how I would describe full of quirkiness. Now, first off, when you get in, you will not find a start-stop button in here. You simply put your foot on the brake and put it in drive or reverse in order for it to start. They're not the first company to do this, by the way. And then when you step out of the vehicle, when you're done driving, put the vehicle in park, it will shut off, or you can do that manually here over on the screen. Speaking of which, Volvo has turned all of their infotainment duties over to Google, so I hope you really like Google. Now, for me personally, I don't care for this setup outside of the fact that I love the mapping software, which is far better than any Volvo navigation system. Directions to the nearest charging station.
EVgo charging station is 4 minutes from your location by car in light traffic.
But there's no phone projection here. I have an iPhone. I love Apple CarPlay. I cannot connect my phone either wired or wirelessly to this system, which really stinks. And I have a lot of apps that I like to use here that are not available at the Play Store. And then other oddities / things I don't really care for in here include the fact that there is no sunshade or opaque filter for this glass roof. The driver information display is pretty basic for an EV. Over here, the climate control settings can only be set in even increments, not odd for the temperature, that is. And then when you put the vehicle in reverse, the backup cam does not default to the 360-degree view, which is what you would want. There is an off-road driving mode in here, but no sport mode. And then lastly, I prefer a charge port on an EV to be at or near the front of the vehicle for easier access. That way you don't have to back into the spot. Though I'm into the styling, the ethos, and the acceleration, I'm just not interacting with the C40 in a way that makes me want one at this price point. For TestDriveNow.com, I'm Steve Hammis.